We know that the private sector sees EPA as a lot of a challenge, and it is a challenge, but it is not as daunting a challenge as it seems on the outside.
The importance of the private sector being well organized as industry groupings cannot be underestimated.
At the OTN, we're trying to support the process through technical research, which we hope will be properly utilized by the governments and by the private sector.
What I'll say is it depends on how long it takes the governments to go through the implementation phase so that they are now set up to derive the benefits.
The next steps involve action on several levels. The private sector, the governments that have signed the agreement, the business support institutions, the investment promotion agencies, the educational institutions. We all have a part in implementing.
What I think is vitally important for Caribbean business to do is to speak to their own government. Why? Because that will start setting the ball rolling as to how we monitor implementation, get involved in doing things with regard to ensuring that this agreement really works for everybody. We're right at the beginning. We've finished writing it, we've finished signing it, we've entered it into force. Now the important thing is to implement it properly, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
In the long swath of history, you really have to ask yourself the question, if regional integration is important as a platform for navigating globalization, as I call it, is this platform too small a surfboard? Or do you want something bigger, more stable? Something that somebody could see on a radar screen, okay? Notwithstanding the challenges. And that is, I think, the major decision that this region has to take. It's a political decision. I think that governments should keep alive the notion of tremendous opportunity available to us as a result of this agreement. Not only in terms of exports, but also in terms of pulling investment, and not just from Europe, from everywhere. In other words, we should be waving the EPA flag.
The EPA is therefore a fact. It is now time for effective implementation. Among the structures for its implementation are monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. These have a role for the parliamentarians, for civil society, for the academic community, and other bodies. Also, there are provisions for 5-yearly reviews of the agreement and for modifications based on the implementation experience. The Secretariat has established a small unit to assist all CARIFORUM states in that process. And, as we say, the proof of the pudding will be in the eating.